Another thing to pay attention to is line shopping, which just means checking the price of any bet you want to make at all the different sports books you have access to and betting it at whichever book has the best price. So for instance, here we have the Thunder versus the Pacers game again. You can see that on FanDuel, the Thunder to win are minus 215, but on ESPN bet, they're minus 210. So that just means that if you bet the Thunder to win on FanDuel, if you want to win $100, you have to bet $215, but on ESPN, you only have to risk $210 to win the same $100. The same thing goes for the Pacers. Here on Bally Sports, they're plus 175. So if you bet $100 and they win, you would win $175. But on Pinnacle, they're plus 188. So if you bet the same $100 and they win, you would win $13 more. So it's a no-brainer that you want to bet at the book with the best price for whichever bet you're making. The same thing can go for point spreads. You can see here that the Pacers plus 5. Most books are at plus 5.5, as you can see here for the main line. But the Pacers plus 5, FanDuel and Hard Rock have that line. They're similar prices. Hard Rock is a tiny bit better here at minus 105. Then if you look at this section with plus 5.5, you can see that Novig has the same price, minus 105, for the Pacers plus 5.5 instead of just plus 5. And what that means is that you can bet the same amount of money to win the same amount of money. But if the Pacers lose by exactly 5, you win this bet. You win the plus 5.5 bet, but you would push the plus 5 bet, which means you would just get your money back and not win anything. So for the same price, it's a huge value to get an extra half point because you can always win instead of not winning. The same idea goes for totals. Even here, you can see MGM has the total at 227.5, and they're at minus 115. And then FanDuel has the total at 228.5 at minus 110. So in this case, I would probably bet the over on MGM at minus 115 instead of FanDuel at minus 110 because it's such a small difference in price and you get a whole point. So if the game ends on 228 points, you would win this bet on MGM and you would lose this bet on FanDuel. Obviously, you can look at the 228.5 and see that you would rather bet on Profit X than FanDuel, and you kind of have to make a decision there. Plus 100 is a lot better odds than minus 115, but there's still a point difference there. So that's kind of up to your discretion. But in general, you always want to check to see what the best price is and check what the number is, and then decide on where you're going to make your bet.